head chronicler Matias, of the Delver Association expedition to the eastern wastelands to establish trade with the city of Falden, recording made with an area recaster version 2.4. Total equipment list, included below in the written record sheet. Recaster description of logs are as follows with inserts of personal thoughts of the Delver team members.
Day 12 of our amazing trek across the wastelands to the fabled metropolis of Falden. I was told what to expect of this harsh landscape, but what I have found with proper planning and forward thinking, any trouble or problem can be overcome with grace and acumen. The landscape seems desolate and foreboding, but it is teeming with life. Insects, arachnids, lizards and avians stalk for food and mates. Such is the dance of the wastelands. I too stalk for a mate. Our nomadic tribesman is truly alluring, his rippling muscles and sinuous and sensuous snake tattoo that tantalizingly, we made camp in the shading of a rock outcropping. Our tribesman suggested traveling by night and sleeping during the day. One morning, however, when I was spurred from my sleeping role to use the privy, an odd sight entered my vision. I had to awaken my crew to confirm my eye.
Awaken, dear friends, there is a sight to behold.
Awaken, sweet On.
Quiet, back to sleep, or I will tie you down again.
On, there is a village in the distance.
We are still 1 week from Falden. There are no villages between Inert and Falden.
And yet there is!
The team, hearing this news, struggled from their bedrolls and stepped out from behind the rock outcropping, into the heat of the morning. There in the distance was an oasis of lush green upon the barren landscape, with a haze of moisture protecting it from the harsh sun. Rooftops and chimneys were visible just above the canopy.
This cannot be, it should not be.
Then it is our duty as delvers to explore it at once. By the by, does anyone else smell fresh baked bread?
I smell it, boss.
The team prepared to head toward the village, leaving Drendon, the team's kyniest, to watch the camp, as their magical skills for travel would not be required for such a short distance. On insisted that the team moves with caution.
I have my strengths, but a good leader relies on their team's strengths and judgment. I would have preferred to get to the village as quickly as possible, but one of On's many strengths is traveling out here in the wilds. So, I allow them their lead in this matter.
On went through the steps of checking for the various triggers, using a series of small devices made for the purpose.
I would have preferred one of the new triggers, but my team leader wanted me to start my stuff as a tusked tribesman. They are a constant burden.
The delvers arrived at the edge of the green and On checked for triggers. All seemed safe. They entered the green and was immediately met with a cool breeze. The trees stood tall, their canopy blocking out the harshness of the heat. The ground was covered in soft moss. Avians were chirping and singing.
Have you ever heard the like? It's like they are welcoming us.
Leading us to our doom, perhaps.
You're dry wit. I have often argued with the elders of Denerith that the designation of currently inert for Denerith is foolishness. It has been nearly 30 years. Nothing, not a single thing. Denerith is safe. There are safe places in the world. I have read the records that have been salvaged. The reason I became a Delver leader 6 months ago was to prove it. The lengths we go to hinder our own growth in this world is astounding. And honestly, if I wasn't required to do 3 years training to become a Delver, I would have proved it 3 years earlier. You see, I have a natural eye for danger that has served me all my life. An instinct.
The edge of the jungle gave way to a wide brick path. On either sides of the gate was a warding stone. Branching out from either side of the gate, more warding stones could be seen at regular intervals. After a short walk, the team came upon a quaint pastoral village, bustling with simply dressed villagers going about their day. It was multicultural, a veritable cornucopia of all the known races and some unknown, each with a pleasant smile and a gentle way about them. Some were younger, some older, but each was healthy and fit. One of the villagers noticed the approaching team and broke away from the others to greet them.
Welcome to our village. I am the ombudsman here. Welcome, yes, all are welcome.
Well, thank you for the kind welcome. I am Scholar Adulos, of the Delver Association of Denerith, and these are my crewmates. We are on our way to Falden, and we weren't expecting to find your village. What is it called, by the way?
Hey, you outside folks do love your names for things. It's just the village. It has never had another thing for it to be called. I have never heard of Denerith. I am pleased to know the world outside has places where people can come together. Falden has trade with us, and that is the only one we knew of.
How often do Falden merchants come here? We wish to establish a trade route with them.
Oh, about once a month. They come mostly for food. We have plenty. The oasis land is fertile, and the wasteland, if properly prepared, can provide a great bounty of meat, or so the young'uns tell me. I don't go out much these days, but in my younger days I could catch mainly a barred quill with nearly no wounds. They do add up over time though.
My tribesman tells me we are 1 week from Falden.
Your tribesmen speak truth. If you go out the opposite side of the village you will find a canyon. It provides a safe way to Falden, if traveled by night.
Why does Falden not come to this paradise of yours more frequently, if it is but a week away with such a safe route?
We had a squabble in the past. Some of their young folk wanted to live here and didn't talk to their parents about it properly. We were accused of kidnapping them.
How terrible.
All are welcome always. That is the village's creed. So, when they came to us, we wouldn't turn them away. Then the soldiers came. They made quite the hullabaloo, but in the end the truth came out and things settled.
Did anyone get hurt?
Oh no, the commander of the squad had their soldiers come and look around a bit, shouting at us. No violence. We had a seat down with the commander, talked it out. By nightfall it was all settled.
So, the young folk returned to Falden.
Oh no, the commander allowed them to stay. In fact, he contacted his superiors and requested to be garrisoned here in the village.
Really? May we speak to them? I would love to get acquainted with a representative of Falden.
Unfortunately, the commander decided to take up the young'uns goading to come with them on a barb quill hunt. They suffered a terrible injury and died soon after.
That is unfortunate. Is there a replacement available?
No such luck, I'm afraid. The Council of Falden decided due to the recent issues. The sudden death of the commander caused the council to tell the garrison to return to Falden. This left many of the squad in a tense situation as they had started settling down and making connections in a family way, if you understand my meaning.
So, what happened?
Monthly visits, no more than that. Well, there I go talking a outsider's ear off. You just came in from the wastelands. You must be parched. Come sit over here, have a drink.
That is very kind of you.
Scholar, we should be heading back to check on the camp.
That is fine, Sela, go with On. Sola and I will remain here and explore the village.
On and Sela left the village, while Adulos and Sola remained. They had the refreshments and were guided through the village by the ombudsman. The ombudsman spoke the truth. The farms outside the village were overwrought with produce and the butchers had a large supply of meat. Hours passed pleasantly in the village. Adulos had intended to speak with the former soldiers, but time seemed to get away from him. Then when the day was nearing evening, On and Sola returned, distraught.
Welcome back, On. The ombudsman kindly offered for us to stay the night. Due to their tenuous friendship with Falden, they constructed an inn. No sleeping on the hard ground for us tonight. Something wrong?
Dendron has been injured and requires your medical skills.
Ombudsman, I must leave. My crewmate requires my attention.
Don't worry about me, you go tend to your man.
The crew left the market and headed back towards the camp. On was casting a worried look up at the sky as they moved with urgency.
What's happened to Dendron?
Nothing, Dendron is fine. We, however, are not.
What do you mean?
When we left the village, it took us nearly 4 hours to reach the edge of the jungle. We checked on Dendron. Had them spark the village, not something he's trained for, but he tried. The hues are discordant throughout the area, no harmony. Dendron had no idea what could have caused it.
Discordant hues could be a sign of ongoing magical effects that are disruptive to the natural area. A ruinist, or utilist, could tell us more as such things they are trained in. You did right. If something is wrong in the village, then the ombudsman may be a part of it, but until that is proven, I had no feelings of ill intent from him.
Along the path, Dendron stood waiting for them.
Scholar, I'm going to speed us along with your permission. This path is laced with conjuration, designed to allow a speedy entrance but slows an exiting.
Permission granted, get us out of here.
Dendron chanted a complex incantation as they ran ahead of the crew. Kineists are trained to chant while on the move, as that is what they do. Move things and people. The scenery began to blur as their pace sped up. Dendron let out a gasp of strain.
Dendron?
This place is resisting, it's tightening its hold. I have to let the casting go.
They came into view of the jungle's edge. Their pace slowed. Adulos stepped out into the wasteland and was immediately assailed by the heat. On stepped alongside him and began going over him. The sun set. Dendron and Sela stood to one side, gasping for breath.
Did we really have to leave? It was so nice.
Everyone turned to look at Sola, who was still standing on the mossy ground of the jungle.
We all could have used a few days' rest before heading to Falden.
Didn't you hear, On? This place wants you to stay.
Sola, come here.
Oh, come on. You liked it there. Everyone was happy. The place is warded. There is plenty of food. They are welcoming. We don't have to go to Falden. We could trade here and then go back to Dennerith. There is a ton of people back home who could use a place like this.
Sola, as the leader of this Delver team, I order you to come here.
No, I quit. I'm going to stay here in the village.
Sola.
Dendron, bring Sola out.
Sola yelped and began running back towards the village. Dendron chanted and then pulled her out of the jungle. Screeching, swearing and clawing, Sola fought hard against them like she was in a fight for her life. On and Sela stepped in to subdue her. That is when Sola drew her blade and slashed her sister Sela's arm open. On managed to disarm her and tie her. That is when Sola went slack. Adulos went to Sela and began bandaging her arm.
Let's head back to camp and decide what to do in the morning.
Adulos took the first watch, trying to talk with Sola. But she was silent, looking murder at him the entire time. Sela took second watch and On took third. In the morning, they found On's corpse and Sola gone. On had been eviscerated as if by some savage beast. Tracks suggested Sola had headed back to the village.
Oh my sweet On. Why didn't you call out to us?
Dendron sparked the area.
They couldn't, have never seen conjuration used this way. It would have been simpler to use abjuration. They made the airspace around Owen further away from us, so the sounds died out before reaching us. What do we do, Scholar?
We go back to the village and demand answers. We are not equipped to take the answers by force, so whatever we get we will go on to Falden and then send word back to Dennerith.
After putting On to rest and performing rites, they made their way back to the village. It was as they had seen it that first morning. As with the first morning, a member of the throng of villagers stepped out and greeted them as ombudsman, but they were not the ombudsman from the previous morning.
Welcome back to our village. Welcome, yes, all are welcome.
You were not the one I spoke to yesterday. Bring them out, I need to have a word with them.
My word, your eyesight must be failing you. I am the one you spoke to yesterday.
No, you are not.
I see you have the same outsider madness as those with Falden. I am the one you spoke to yesterday. We have but one ombudsman and I am they.
Fine, continue your games. Where is my crewmate? Where is Sola?
Yes, the young lady came to us in the early morning before the sun had yet risen. We were surprised to see her, but all are welcome. So we gathered everyone up and had a celebratory breakfast.
I care not for your breakfast. Bring Sola to me, she has a murder to answer for.
Alas, she cannot. During the celebrations, the young'uns dared her to join in the morning barb quill hunt. I am very sorry, my friend Solar is dead.
Dead. During another one of your barb quill hunts.
We should go. Leave my sister here. She would not want us to linger.
Actually, she would want you to stay. I talked with her long and deeply over breakfast. She was so upset about how the people of Dennerith has to struggle. If you must leave, remember this. All are welcome, always.
My sister died at the edge of the jungle. I will return one day to reclaim her from this village. I will return and discover how to end this place.
My condolences to you, but please do not blame the village. It was the barb quill, and your sister's own foolish pride that killed her. If you must punish someone, please punish me.
Sela looked at the man with his arms outstretched before him.
We are leaving. No one try to stop us.
Of course, while all are welcome, we do not force others to stay. They must make the choice themselves.
Adulos slashed out with a knife across the man's forearm, drawing a thin line.
That is for Sola and my On.
The ombudsman didn't even flinch, as the blade opened his forearm. Slowly, very slowly, a dark, almost black blood sludged its way out of the man's arm. Adulos and Sela gaped, then turned away. They headed out the way they had come instead of choosing to go through the village and out the opposite side. Then took the long way around the village towards Falden.
Thus ends the records of the expedition to the eastern wastelands and discovery of the idyllic village. A research and military task force has been dispatched to both research the idyllic village and set up a perimeter to stop others from entering. This is Head Chronicler Matias of the Delver Association signing off.
Hey, thanks for watching, and please like, and if you're not already subscribed, subscribe, and do the little bell and tell other people about me, and just have a good day. See ya.